Happy Sunday. This is PFG Live, the only podcast that sits on 3 points. Welcome aboard. We have a crowd. We've been having a good time in Discord. DBX is reporting from White Plains, New York. Winds are variable at 3 knots. Visibility 10 miles. Sky clear, temperature 30, dew point 14, altimeter 3023. Evils reports it's very nice there. Josh says in southern Manitoba, currently it's winds 300 at 9 knots, gusting to 16 knots, temperature 20. That's very normal. Dew point 15 remarks are there's a peak wind. Quentin says the weather report from Den Helder Airport. Let's see. Closest one is Echo Hotel Kilo Delta. We got automatic reporting. Winds are 310 at 4 knots. Variable 260 and 020. No significant weather and other things that the Europeans say. Dale reports 21 degrees science, 60 degrees relative humidity, 60% relative humidity, partly cloudy in northwest Canada. Welcome aboard, Dale. CJ Stevens is with us from East Tennessee, and he reports it's 88 degrees Frankenstein. The sun is out and boring barrels in the shop. Woohoo! Awesome. Lewis Brooks, welcome aboard, sir. He says hello from the land of Scots. A rainy evening followed by a sunny day, 18 degrees. Charlie, welcome aboard, sir. Eric with a K, who we will hear more from later, 26 degrees science, 38% relative humidity, 3 miles per hour winds, still oddly warm here in Kingston, London, sorta. Welcome aboard, Eric. Ted Hyde from Casa Frog Pro Resources in Eustis, Florida, reports, let's see, winds are 150 at 8 knots, visibility 10 miles, few clouds at 4,500, temperature 31, a little warm, dew point 23, altimeter 3004. Remark, a pleasant day for a little grinding. Every day is nice for grinding, if you ask me. Well, welcome aboard. Let's see. Here in New Hampshire, right now, my location is reporting 88 degrees Fahrenheit with 46% relative humidity, and the winds are light. I do have an AC. I think one of the best investments I ever made was putting AC here. Where is it? Here in the shop, and then later down. Here in the office and down in the shop. The shop AC, when it's blistering hot outside, makes the shop still livable, whereas I would have just punched out without the air conditioner. So, yeah, absolutely. Did I miss anyone? Let's see. I got everybody in. Yeah, I think I got everybody. Excellent. Well, welcome aboard. We have a nice lineup today. And we have some new folks joining us. Welcome to all the newbies. You are welcome to help yourself to the finger sandwiches in the ante room, and just keep the voices down to a low roar. Let's see what's going on in the Flat Cave. The Flat Cave. Oh wait, hang on.
Come on, Robin, to the Bat Cave.
The Flat Cave. So in the Flat Cave this week, we are running balancing rings. You may have noticed that in the thumbnail. I was, of course, you're getting pulled in a bunch of different directions, and the spreadsheet is not as well tuned in to the balancing rings as it is for PFG Stones. So I was getting a little low on balancing rings, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to get the balancing rings. And I got an order for 3 balancing rings when I had an inventory of 7 left. And that sort of kicked me into gear. And then day before yesterday, I got an order from Canada, from Vancouver, for another 3 rings. I was down to 1 in stock. And I'm happy to report that I am now back in stock. So we never got to 0. That was good. E. Perrin is reporting 76 degrees freedom units, 535.67 degrees science freedom units. Thank you, Kelvin. In Palo Alto, California, Good weather for laser welding inside. Excellent. Thank you for bringing along.
Frickin' laser beam.
We appreciate you. So, balancing rings are going. It's about a 19-minute cycle. I think I showed on Instagram, I showed some pictures of what it looks like, what the setup looks like. I think I could show it here. Yeah, here we go. We have 3 ops in the vertical machining center. And we do side A, side B, and then the edge to get the edge hole. So every time we push the green button, we take out a finished product, shift everything over, and keep going. That's 19 minutes. And we're cranking them out right now. Hey, Bill Olney is with us from Rome, New York, home of Air Force Research Labs. 88 degrees Frankenstein and hot. Yes. And it will not be cooler tomorrow, Bill. I'm sorry. We don't control such things. So that's a story from the shop downstairs. Earlier this week, we cranked out some PFG Stones because the spreadsheet made us. And we are well stocked on every size except one. I don't even know if I should tell you because somebody out there has a sense of humor. The only thing we don't have currently in stock is the 2-inch roundels. Okay. But everything else is in stock. So if you want PFG Stones, go order them. Oh, was that Rankin and not Kelvin? 535. Yeah, I guess you're right. And Bill took tomorrow off. Well, you get what you get. You don't get upset. Today we are wishing our very own Josh up in Winnipeg, happy birthday, Josh. You're awesome. I think he said that this was the last of the 20s, so he's flipping the digits. Happy birthday, Josh, and welcome aboard. It's all downhill from here. Trust me. We got a note from our very own Robin Renzetti, who gave me a shout over the weekend. And this is from the 3D printing department. I guess Sunlu is having a sale on their PA12 carbon filled, which is basically a nylon carbon filled. If anybody can check me on this, I don't want to say that there's still a sale on if it's already off. But Robin picked up 3 spools. He was very happy about it and very, very happy with the price. So if you guys are interested in a carbon fiber filled nylon from Sunlu, check it out. And if I'm wrong, somebody in the chat will tell me because that's why you're here. Excellent. If you've been following along on Instagram, if you follow Dale, WidgetWorks, Dale showed some fantastic milling, drilling, and tapping of AR400 and AR500 plate, which are generally regarded as being very hard to deal with. And Dale was just popping threaded holes in there like there's no tomorrow. And I guess you get about 50 holes out of a tap in the AR 400 500. Yeah, about 50 holes. But it looked like butter the way you were doing it, sir. Nicely done. What do you use for a lube when you're doing the tapping? Nothing personal. I'm just curious. Because you made it look pretty easy. Coolant, just coolant. Lovely. Well, nice work, Dale. Go follow WidgetWorks on Instagram. Oh, you found it. So Josh says it looks like they still have a sale going, and he put the link to the Sunlu sale in the chat. Thank you, sir. I'll let you guys follow up on that. We have on our Discord server a new thing, which you Discorders know about, called server tags. So if you are on the Discord server and you would like a server tag from our Discord, believe it or not, the server tag is PFG. So If you see somebody on Discord with a PFG after their name, that's where it came from. You're welcome. I have a question, and maybe somebody can help me with this. So my machine, actually, let me get you a picture of my machine here. My vertical machining center is a Sharp. Here it is. It's not a very good picture. A Sharp 2412 with a Fanuc OIMC control. And I am looking for a way to reduce reduce the rate of deceleration on the spindle. Now, one source I checked said that cannot be done in parameters. It can be done in the programming for the amplifier for the spindle driver, which is a whole nother ballgame. So if anybody knows how to do that, and the reason is it generates a bunch of noise spikes on the power line, and I would like to reduce that because I don't need to decelerate from 10,000 RPM as abruptly as it seems to be doing, and I'd like to slow it down. Not a big deal. I could live with it the way it is, but if that is a possibility and anybody knows how to do it, please let me know. Lewis Brooks is with us. Welcome aboard, sir. We got you already from Land of Scots. Okay, we got Lewis. All right, we caught up on everyone. So deceleration is a question mark that I have, and if anybody else has questions for the group, put them in chat, and we'll try to get them figured out. Okay, so one of the things that happened to me this week as I'm setting up for balancing rings is I had to go into Fusion anyway to bring up my model because I had to change the year on it. So I put the year on the balancing ring, so I know what batch it is, for example. And I had a couple of red flags in my model when I was generating my G code, and they were for gouging. And I went ahead and I turned off gouge check for those two steps, and I looked at them 17 times, and they looked perfectly good to me. So that was an issue that I had, but it was the beginning of a very careful multi-hour setup for a program that I hadn't run in many, many months. And that, because they keep on improving Fusion, they keep on changing the algorithm of how they check your models and stuff. So that was one thing that concerned me, and I would like to learn more about that if anybody has a solution for that. It was for, I think it was just drilling. Anyway, we can get back to it. But if anybody's had things like that pop up with the gouge check, I'd be interested to hear more. Ironically, the tools that I use for the making of the balancing rings are pretty much, common tools that I use a lot. And let's see. You can see in this picture, there's my tool racks, and the tool tags that I have. So of all the tools that I had, there was only really one tool I had to add to the rack that I had removed. And I also decided this batch not to go ahead with the chip fan. So last time I was using the chip fan, and this time I decided to not use the chip fan and just see how the efficiency went. And I don't think I'm missing it for this particular project. So we're not using the chip fan. But I was really concerned that I got all the tool registrations correct. That actually went pretty quickly. I had to change out a tool, but because I started using the tool tag, the habit, I was able to very quickly, register the tool, put it in the control, and know that I can count on it. And you can see, if you're watching on video, there's a picture of the tool tags, and you can kind of see the offset numbers on them. So that system worked out really well. So I had to swap one in. I just entered the number into the control and we went. I brought my son Jared in to show him this process, and getting a machine ready to go and carefully checking everything and running the checklists is really boring. There's nothing exciting about it. So, to get him excited about the CNC machine, this was probably not the best start, but it went pretty well. I did a dry run, and I know you guys that run CNC machines every day many of you have gotten past doing a dry run. I did a dry run, checked everything, and then we got to work. One of the things that when you have a 3 operation setup where all 3 operations are on the table, how do you get started, right? So you load up op 1, and you have to be able to finish op 1 before going on to op 2. So if you've programmed your system optimally so that you are using a tool, when you pick up a tool, anything you could do in op 1, op 2, and op 3 with that tool, you do it. And then you put that tool away, and then you keep on going. So that's one way to program the part. The less efficient way to program the part is to do everything you need to do on op 1, and then do everything you need to do on op 2, and then do everything you need to do on op 3. You're going to be less efficient because there's going to be some tool changes to go back to a tool that you used on op 1, but you need it again for op 2. However, you're able to literally run the program, and when it finishes op 1, either automatically or manually, you can stop and say, okay, and then move the part over into op 2, load up a new op 1, and start over again. In other words, you're manually priming the pipeline until you're full. The pipeline is full, and now you're off to the races. And in my case, 19 minutes, you push the green button, you get the part out, and you keep on going. So I've been using the less efficient method, and that's a decision you have to make because I'm not in constant production on this part. One of the things I talked about with Dale, who does a lot of specialized work, is whether that's a reasonable approach. Why? I guess if I had to summarize the kind of conversations we were having, it's why optimizing something you don't do very often is potentially a waste of time. In other words, you could be done before you're finished optimizing. So I took the more conservative approach and didn't hyper optimize this process. In the meantime, we're making parts, and that's going pretty well. I don't regret going slowly and carefully on the setup. One of the tools we have is a back chamfer tool that drops into the hole on the edge of the balancing ring in op 3 and back chamfers the bottom of that hole, which is still a problem. I still don't like it. It's not doing as good a job as I can, but I don't think I could do it any better in that position. And this thing drops this tool right into the hole and does its little back chamfer. And every time I see that thing, I'm ready for it to just hear a crunch and pull out a stub. But in fact, everything is coming out fine. And one of the last points on that is, if you can form tap instead of cut tap, it is a joy. Josh says it well. He says, good parts, then fast parts. Nicely done. The other interesting thing about the way I'm doing this, as far as, slow parts, is that an advantage of having your shop attached to your house is you could wander into the shop, hit the green button, start a cycle, and then go away, go have dinner, go do something else. and it makes it very. It makes the desire to hyper optimize a little less, and it's very comfortable. Welcome aboard to Test Room 2003. He says, good evening from Oostkapelle, Netherlands, 21 degrees science, relative humidity 55%. A little late to the party, but you did your homework. We're proud of you. Oh, okay. So Josh is attributing that quote to Chris Zappatini, and I believe there's a podcast up on Proteum Machining's podcast with Chris, right, this week. The Within Tolerance podcast, I think, has Chris on it. Good parts, then fast parts. Well said. So that's I guess that's it. Cautious setup. Go slowly. Check each tool. And it took me about, honestly, probably spent 3 hours getting ready for this production run. And now we're just cranking it out. Oh, I'm sorry. He was on Chips and Tips this week. That's where I saw him. Carl says, do you get up in the middle of the night to check on progress? Okay, so because it's a 19-minute cycle time, this is not one of those things where we had a discussion a while back on I think the title of it was, what is the optimal CNC cycle time? And my conclusion was that an hour is a very nice cycle time. This is 19 minutes, and I have to say it's about one of the worst cycle times you can have. It's too long to just be banging out parts, and it's too short to go off and do something. So it's very weird, right? So I'm able to start the thing and go do something else, go sit outside, whatever. But the probability that I'm there at the end of the cycle to change the parts is very low. So it ends up being admittedly inefficient, but totally fine. Whereas I've had other projects. I have one famous project where I drilled 1,000 holes, literally, to make a special vacuum fixture. And I so was not convinced that it was going to go well that I stayed up, and I was up until 3 a.m. with that, and it went absolutely perfectly, totally smooth. Everything worked great. The tool looked like it came out of the package. And there was an example where if it was today, I could have hit the button and gone to sleep. So no, I do not get up in the middle of the night. I also do have a video camera, on the machine, so I could bring it up on my phone if I'm really nervous. But I didn't have to do that. Yeah. So the other thing that happened this past week was interactions with some really awesome suppliers. And I can't say enough good things about these guys. The first one you all know, right? It's McMaster-Carr. They are utterly fantastic, and we sing their praises all the time. But I have some other companies that I've started doing business with that are really good. We switched sticker suppliers. We like our stickers, don't we? And we tried out 3 new companies after I fired the one I was using for reasons that I will not dwell on here. And all 3 of them were okay. So it came time in the past couple of weeks where we were literally running out of stickers, and I had to get stuff ordered. So I started going down the list. And of the 3 that we tried and kind of liked, one of them, they were a good company. Their product was great, but their online interface was terrible. So when I went back to reorder stickers, the first thing they say to you is, "Oh, well, give us your order number." Now, this is after you log in. So you log in, And I'm like, okay, I'm going to reorder my stickers. And then it says, yes, what order number do you want to reorder? And I'm like, I don't know my order number. And I had such trouble interfacing with it that I put them aside and I went to the next one on the list. Long story short, the clear winner was a company called Sticker Giant. And this is, hashtag not sponsored. Sticker Giant not only still had my order from when we last ordered with them, and I was able to reorder in a couple of clicks. But then when I wanted to give them orders for new stuff and move over my artwork from the other guys, it was reasonably straightforward. However, I had a question. I was having a problem with one of the stickers. Well, they had a chat set up. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm probably going to get, some AI chat bot, and this is not going to go well. So I get on the chat thing, and sure enough, I get an AI chat bot. And I said, I need to talk to somebody. And it said, oh, okay, hang on. Click, boom. And I had a human. Not only did I have a human, I had a real human at the real company. And I said, hey, this is what I need. How should I do this? And they said, let me go tell the artist to hang on. And he, long story short, in real time, solved the problem, helped me out, made sure things went smoothly, and I couldn't be happier. Orders went in, and I swear it was 48 hours, and I had everything I ordered, or maybe a little longer than that. So I extremely happy. It's like, we're done. We found our company, and we're finished. And that company was Sticker Giant. The third thing was, and this goes right back to the balancing rings. I don't want to cut my own stock if I can avoid it. So I've been working with a company that's in New England called Yard Metals. I don't know what they consider their territory to be, but I order 12-15 steel for the balancing rings, and I order it cut to length. I placed that order, and I had my stuff so fast. I mean, I said, I'll come pick it up. They said, okay, it was literally 48 hours. It was the day after, it was like, place the order on Monday, go pick it up on Wednesday. And it was cut perfectly, and everything was great. And I couldn't be happier with these guys. Now, in my case, I went and I picked it up because it was easier, but of course they also do deliveries. And I've had them deliver 22-foot lengths of steel material, and they're just as good, and they show up with their truck. So, another great supplier. My point is that sometimes we get stuck with a supplier that we're not that comfortable with, and I was buying my boxes and stuff from a company that I was not comfortable with anymore, and because they were doing some things that I did not like. And I switched my boxes to Grainger. So Grainger is a well-known, very broad spectrum supplier. And again, I go to Grainger, I have my standard list set up, and click, 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 and my stuff shows up and everything's correct. So especially if you're a one-man band, okay, having the ability to get your stuff with a couple of clicks, to be able to talk to a human, to be treated with respect, is awesome. So it's worth its weight in gold. Notice at no time did I say I found the lowest price, because honestly, that's not the question anymore. So that's my story about suppliers this week. Very positive story. Excuse me. So that was a really good result this week. By the way, my tea today is English breakfast tea, which is one of my favorites, and you'll see why I bring that up. Let's see. We are going to have a guest today. I have invited a guest from, well, kind of England to talk to us about a new event that's coming up called the Toolroom Takeover. So let's see if I could find him in here. So let's see. Eric, are you with us?
I am with you indeed. Hello, Spencer.
Hello, how are you? Let me introduce. This is Eric with a K, who's coming to us from Kingston, near London, but that's a long story. And
Very much.
thanks for coming on, Eric. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
So we've all gotten wind of this event that's coming called the Toolroom Takeover. And the word on the street is that it's your fault. So
It is.
So my understanding is that you are a fellow enthusiast in the machine shop. You're a engineer by title or so.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then how did you get involved with organizing this event, and what is this event?
Sure. So I'm going to try not to dwell on the details too much. So my name is Eric. I am an engineer, previously known as Engineer Raised in Kingston, which is an acronym that, whilst clever, most people didn't quite get, which is fine. I'm a university-trained engineer, which means that I have a bachelor's degree in engineering, which I've never really used, or not in anger, at least. And yeah, and I make videos on YouTube, which are mainly machining orientated. There's a bit of 3D printing there, and a lot of terrible humor. Which
Excellent.
is kind of my main selling point.
Well, it's also one of the qualifications for why you're here. So,
Well, absolutely. In terms of Toolroom Takeover, so again, there's a lot of details for it, and I'm going to try and limit all of that. But for those of you who don't know, every year for the past 6 years, Ruth Amos has been doing a Maker's Secret Santa on YouTube, which is exactly what it sounds like. The maker community get together and make gifts for each other, which first and foremost I think is a great idea. But also I'm claiming a self-made title of Ambassador of Gift Giving, because 4 out of 9 or 5 out of 9, I'm not actually sure, videos on my YouTube channel are of me making gifts for somebody. Predominantly the video that kind of blew up my channel, which was me making a gift for Brandon of Inheritance Machining. That was a very surreal moment because I went to bed with 180 subscribers and I woke up with 5,000.
So give us your channel name. So I'm getting questions. What is your YouTube?
So the channel name is Eric with a K. There is a bit of, so hindsight is a wonderful thing. I chose the best / the worst time to change a channel name. The best in the sense that I think it's now or never. But the problem with that is changing a channel name is surprisingly difficult in terms of the YouTube backlog. So ever since I've changed it, my channel now comes up about 3rd or 4th on the list, even though I've got the highest number of subscribers. But you kind of have to scroll down a little bit. The logo is kind of a dead giveaway, which is an outline of my face. Most importantly, my hair. So yeah, the name is Eric brackets with a K, primarily because it's a phrase that I've said more times than I can count in my life.
I'm going to see if I can get that into the chat. Unless one of you guys can do that, get Eric's channel link into the chat. Would you do that? That'd be great. So how did this? How long was it going on that this gift giving event was taking place?
So I think, if memory serves me right, the idea started floating around my head around January of this year, and I kind of suggested the idea to Brandon just to get his ideas, see what he thinks, and he liked the idea as well. And originally it was going to be basically a machinist Secret Santa. But in the interest of not being a complete plagiarism of the idea, we kind of turned the idea on its head. And we had many ideas for the name. One of the ideas was to kind of pivot it as a machinist summer solstice sort of thing, which, I don't know, maybe. But regardless, again, I can't really overstate how much of a help Brandon was in orchestrating all of this, because compared to him, my channel is very, very small. So me organizing this would have been impossible. But when it's somebody like Inheritance Machining messaging you saying, do you want to participate in something like this? It's a completely different story. So he's been absolutely instrumental in all of this, and, you know, to a larger effect, your whole YouTube career as well. So we got some names, and we got some names in principle. And I have to check the list, because even though it's 9 people in me, I will inevitably forget. So as it is in the Discord chat, it's Cloud42 James, which you have had on this podcast before.
Yep, he's a member of our Discord too. Yep,
indeed he is. We've got Alex Steele, got Chronova Engineering, we've got Inheritance Machining, of course. We've got Jonesy Makes, NBR Works, Not an Engineer, Quinn of Blondie Hacks, Yuri Tuchman, and I'm so sorry for pronouncing that, and me.
Awesome. And how long? So this was kind of on the QT for a while. How long has it been out in the sunlight?
So I think we did the name draw in beginning of February, I think. So there was still, the aspect of getting people together, setting up a Discord server, things like that. And yeah, I think it was mid-February that we did the name draw. I had a friend of mine write a Python script, which basically randomized the name draw, because all the Secret Santa ones online were getting interesting results, shall we say. And well, I say they would have probably been fine, but I wanted to make sure that it is right the first time. And yeah, it's kind of been going on since then. So 6-7 months, something like that. I kind of lost count at this point.
Okay. And so everybody had to make a video, and everybody had to make a gift for their secret recipient. And that's
right. Yeah. So,
and those videos are going to be dropping soon.
Yeah. So all of the videos will be dropping at 3 p.m. Eastern time on the 15th of August, which is in 5 days.
Yep.
And yeah, all the videos go live on the same day at the same time. There'll be a big playlist, so you can binge watch the whole thing, and you should.
And this is going to be on your channel.
So all the videos are going to be on each person's own channel.
Okay.
Everyone uploads their own video, including myself, and then I'm going to make a playlist, so that will link to all of the videos individually, so you can effectively have a seamless transition between videos. So the format is, present what you're making, then you make the gift, and then at the end, you unbox the gift that you've received. So if person A receives a gift from person B, then person B's video will be the next one in line. And so you kind of get a full loop of everyone who's made a gift for the next person, and then you get to experience it all.
Well, that is awesome. We have a couple of questions coming in. The first one is, what is your channel? We put that in chat, so I think we answered that question. It's, if you're on audio, it's Eric, open parentheses, with a K, close parentheses. That appears to be the name of the channel. Actually, the link is Eric-not-Eric. So,
that's the handle.
Yeah, you guys will figure it out. But there he is. And then the Toolroom Takeover announcement is also linked in our Discord channel, and we'll try to get those onto
Oh, yeah.
the. We'll get both of those links into the info on this video. So if you're curious, it'll be there. Next question, is Toolroom Takeover one video, or will it be a series? I think we answered that. It's going to be a drop of what, 6, 7?
10.
10. Wow.
10 videos.
A simultaneous drop of 10 videos. And this is coming from Turbo Tobes. Will they all be on Eric's channel or somewhere else? I think we answered that one also. So they will be in, at the very least, Eric's channel will have the playlist of all of these videos. I'm looking forward to it. This sounds great. And this was, what were the guidelines given to everybody for the things that they had to make?
So with the guidelines, it was very simple for me because I got to pick them. The guidelines are very simple. The budget was, let's see if I can remember this. It's £150, $300 Australian, $300 Canadian, $200 American. The equivalent of.
Yeah,
something to that effect. It's conversion rates are confusing. So that was the budget. One of the rules was no sharp objects or compressed gases, things like that.
Yeah.
Because we do have to post them across the world, and I do mean across the world. Because if you look at the list of creators, we are basically encompassing more or less all of the continents. But besides that, the rules were fairly loose. Like I said, there's the budget. Originally, when we were still thinking about the Secret Santa thing, we kind of thought about keeping the list kind of hidden, anonymous, so nobody would know who they're making for and who they're receiving gift from, to kind of give it a bit more of an authentic Secret Santa experience. But one, because we're trying to avoid that, we didn't. But also, I think that would have effectively been a logistical nightmare, or more than it's been already.
So after the draw, everybody knew who they were making for. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And well, cool. And it had to be shippable.
Yeah, that was a big worry of mine. I'm not going to spoil anything, but my gift ended up being 19 kilograms and 900 grams, so just a smidge under 20 kilograms, which is
wow.
It's enough.
Yeah.
So naturally, I was very, very concerned about shipping. Luckily, it made it there all fine, which is great. And an actual fact, on Monday, I got the last confirmation of gifts arriving. So all of the gifts are now with their intended recipients, which is absolutely amazing as far as I'm concerned, because I was convinced that something would go wrong in this rather complex chain of loads of moving parts. It was a huge relief.
That's, as somebody who ships all over the world routinely, that's a pretty good record.
Yeah, I knew you'd appreciate that.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I mean, I had I wouldn't say every month, but every couple of months I have a shipping issue of some sort. And of course, this last couple of months, it was just across the country here. It was like to another state, and I shouldn't have had any problem, but I had a problem. So that is a very good record. So the videos are all going to drop on the 15th, coming up here in 5 days. So you mentioned something about you started a Discord server. Did you start a Discord server specifically for this mission, or is this?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just for the people who are participating in Toolroom Takeover.
Got it. And is there going to be a follow-up? Like, is this, first of all, is this going to be an annual event? Because I think you've designed a system here. It sounds like it's duplicable.
So I think yes is probably the answer. I don't want to say anything, and I don't want to jinx anything at the moment because obvious. So I'm trying to be very cautious about saying too much, not to jinx my luck. Going back to the shipping, we did actually have one issue with shipping with FedEx. I'm sure you'll see it. You'll see it in the video.
Yeah.
It wasn't
okay.
me. It was one of the other creators. But again, it all worked out in the end. So, like I said, I'm being very cautious not to jinx anything.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
I think I would most certainly like to do it next year. Put it that way.
Um, Johannes Carrison says, if it is annual, will it always be the same creators?
I don't know. It depends on whether they want to do it. So I was in Open Source 2025 a few weeks back, which was in California, and I got to meet in fact, I got to meet loads of creators, and that kind of started the cogs running in my head. So I think if I do end up doing it next year, I'm hoping to have more creators on, or assuming nobody drops out more, or otherwise definitely have some more, different creators.
It sounds scalable. It sounds like you could handle a higher number of creators now that you've got the basic structure set up.
It's interesting you say that because in open source, I very luckily spoke to Ruth Amos, the creator of Maker Secret Santa, and because she's been doing it for 6 years now, she's obviously a lot more experienced in this than I am, and she basically said that they limit their creator number to 12, and I can see the appeal of that. I think there's also an element of having too many moving parts in a system. I'm not sure. I think 10 is a good number for a first year. I'm not sure how far I'd want to go, if I'm honest, because I think if we have, I don't know, 20 or 30, it becomes extremely difficult to manage. One thing I'm not a machinist. I just play one on YouTube. But one amongst the things that I'm most certainly not a manager. I'm very, very bad at that, and I'm curious to see what people think in the post project survey, whether
Yeah.
I do one or not. But I'm most certainly not a manager, and I think 10 is a good number. I think 12 I get stretched, but beyond that, I don't know. I'm very curious to see what the feedback of this is going to be. I'm extremely excited, very, very nervous, but yeah. I think it'll all depend on how well it all goes and what the feedback from the community is. The machining and engineering community in general is overwhelmingly positive, in my experience. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Well, we're not. Just kidding.
Timed that well.
Yeah. So DBX is correctly landing on 10 to 12. Yeah. So this sounds pretty cool. I'm looking forward to hearing more. I think your budget sounded like the right number. Your people sounded like the right number, and they also have to be able to make a video, right? That's part of the deal.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Turbo Tobez says, and the low light, dare I ask? He wants to know you said the highlight of the experience was such, but what is the low light of the experience? What was the hardest part of this whole thing?
I think it's more of a personal one in as much as overcoming imposter syndrome. It's something I deal with on a daily basis regardless. But it was very, very hard for me to go to all of these, quite frankly, significantly bigger channels and go, "Hey, do you want to play this game with me?" So that was, I wouldn't say that was a low light. I would say that was probably one of the harder things to do. But yeah, in terms of actual low points, it was probably when, like I said, one of the parcels did go missing, but it's all fine. Of all the, again, it'll all make sense once you see the videos, but that was very alarming.
I would imagine. But you made it through. Chop Smitty says, I'd love to be included. Noted, Chop Smitty. We will pass that along. Yeah, I think so. Was there any particular, without spoilers, no spoilers, was there any particularly vociferously positive thing that came out of this that we will be treated to seeing on video? Unusually positive.
I think, again, trying not to jinx it too much, but I would probably say this is definitely going to be my best video, and so far I'm extremely proud with it. I've got some moments that honestly make me proud, which is quite unusual for me. So I think overall, I think my video might be one to look out for. Obviously, watch all of them. But also, one of the biggest positives for me, at least, was the fact that I'm effectively in close contact with so many of my favorite creators. That it's just a wonderful experience. It's amazing to realize that all of these people are actually people, and you can just talk to them. But that was, in terms of positive experiences, that's most certainly up there.
Outstanding. Let's see. You guys, you keep the questions coming because these are excellent. I am certainly looking forward to it. So the 15th is Friday.
Yes.
I'm just checking to make
So
sure.
that's 3. Yeah.
I will be. I know what I'm doing at the end of Friday. I'll be doing something highly unusual, which is binging YouTube. That's very unusual.
You might want to reserve a whole evening because, again, a bit of spoilers. My video is probably going to be about 50 minutes long.
We will. Yeah, Dale says watch party. Yeah. Maybe we will. Maybe we will.
You should. Yeah. So 10 videos, estimating an average of 20 to 30 minutes. You're probably looking at close to 5 hours.
My son calls that Tuesday. Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so Turbo Tobes is starting to ask the very important questions. What is Eric drinking? Is it tea because he's British?
It's coffee.
Whoa! The world screeches to a halt. The earth stops spinning on its axis, and the sun is extinguished. You're drinking coffee. Well, I'm drinking the tea. Okay, I'm balancing.
Yeah, I think exactly.
I have saved the universe by drinking tea.
The balance in the universe is restored.
So let's see. Oh, Evil says at 2.5x playback, that's hardly going to fill a day. So this is a thing, all right? So I will walk in on Jared watching some YouTube video, and he's watching at 2x or 2.5x, and I'm like, that's how you do it. So there are very few times actually that I get the urge to watch at a faster speed. I will not tell you what channels. I'm not going to reveal that, but there are some channels I have to watch at 2x. And there's some channels which I literally have to slow down. Well, I don't slow it down. I just play it twice. But yeah, that's pretty funny. I could see you doing that, Evils. Plugged in and running at hyperspeed. Excellent questions. So you have a small shop I at home. Tell us about your shop.
I think the word small is a gross understatement.
What?
It's it's a workshop, if you can call it that, in my spare room, which is 2 meters by 3.5 meters, I think, and it has carpet.
So you're a watchmaker. I was Who's our friend ClickSpring? So John Saunders went and actually got to visit ClickSpring a while back, and he said literally you had to walk sideways in his shop. Yeah. It's tiny, so I don't think the size is the thing. What do you have for you have a little mill?
Yeah, so to give you some perspective, I think both mine and Chris's workshops are effectively the same size, give or take, from what I've seen. Yeah, so I've got a small lathe, I've got a small mill, very small, although not quite the micro scale, not really watchmakers, but they do the job. And of course, I've got a Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon, which it's 3D printing is something I've been doing since first year of university, so long enough to experience the perils of manual bed leveling and all the rest of that.
Yeah.
So going to Bamboo, I was very, very early in the Bamboo game. Just missed the Kickstarter. Yeah, it was just a breath of fresh air.
Outstanding. Yeah, I'm as you know, I'm a Bamboo convert, having come from Prusa, and
Yep, same.
I'm on the precipice. As Dale is now laughing, I could hear it from Canada. I'm on the precipice of getting a H2D as soon as I can come up with a reason. Ugne, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I apologize, says, love the videos. Does Eric have a Patreon or anything for extra content or behind the scenes / bloopers videos?
So that's a great question. Yes, with an asterisk. I do have a Patreon, but it's not live yet. It's going to go live effectively on the same day that Toolroom Takeover goes live as well. I felt like it's the right time. So it's the current plan for my Patreon is to have occasional behind the scenes workshop updates, that kind of thing, and early access to videos ad free. So that's what. And of course access to my terrible CAD drawings.
That actually is a good name for a channel. Terrible CAD drawings. I hope that.
Yeah.
Chop Smitty says, my H2D is amazing. Get it. I know. Everybody says the H2D is amazing. Get it.
Really want one.
I'm trying to be prudent. Can I be? I don't know. Maybe that's out of character for me to actually have a business reason for it before I get it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, pretty cool. So my first shop was it was one bench. It was one tabletop. And I had the Shoreline mill and the Shoreline lathe, and that's how I started. And it was definitely microscopic, and it's not microscopic anymore.
Yeah.
Turbo says, "Can we vote on who made the best gift, like a fan favorite award type thing?"
So this is something I have actually thought about. I'm not entirely sure how to frame this. I'm not sure how much interest there would be, because the fundamental idea of Toolroom Takeover is gift exchange. It's giving something to another person, which is generally the gift of giving is something I do genuinely enjoy as a person. So to add a direct competitive aspect to this, it almost feels wrong in a sense. I'm not sure if it is, but I would be very interested to hear fan favorites of particular videos. I'm not at liberty to decide who made the best one, of course, but I think it's almost implied intrinsically in making videos in general, trying to one up each other. And this is something that Brandon pointed out, that kind of aspect is almost implied, because the content creators, we always want to do the best thing we can. So yeah, it's kind of intrinsic, I think. But it would be very interesting.
But there's not going to be an explicit way of voting or whatever.
I don't think so. I don't really know how I suppose I could do a community poll on YouTube, but they don't get that much attention, if I'm honest, even for the big channels. So it's hard to say, but it would be very interesting to hear people's thoughts.
A wise person once said that comparison is the root of all discontent. I don't know who that was, and I probably just made that up. Johannes says, like the driver of the day in F1, ? I'm not an F1
Yeah.
fan, but I think your tongue was firmly in your cheek, if I'm not mistaken. Evils says comparison is the thief of joy. Maybe that's it. ¿Por qué no los dos? It could be both. And I think DBX put up a picture, which I believe is that Click
that's
Springs?
Chris's workshop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very proud
Yeah.
to say we have the same mini split air conditioner.
That's one thing I haven't got. We've got another heat wave over here coming next week, I think.
Yeah,
and I have no air conditioning. It's awful.
I understand that. And we all have a heat wave coming. Turbo says, if Eric drinks coffee, does he also prefer NASCAR to F1? Do not answer that. My client will not be answering that question today. Do not. No good can come from answering that question.
Yeah, I think.
Take the
I
fifth.
can see that.
We have the fifth. We will loan you. We will loan you the fifth to so that you can take it. That's a deep one. Okay. Well, last questions. You guys can pop in here with any final questions. We're going to wrap this up pretty quick. I think we did it today. Did we do it? Did we leave anything out, Eric?
I don't think we did.
It amazes me sometimes how absolutely efficient we are. Okay.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Like a well-oiled machine with oil dripping on every part of the floor and carpet and the shag carpet in the machine shop. Listen, I respect it. It's an art form. Shag carpet in the machine shop. No problem.
It's not intentional, just to clarify. When I started building the workshop, I didn't quite envision that it would get as bad as it did. And by the time I realized that this is actually going to be a problem, it was way too late because I would have to tear down the entire workshop. And it's just something I live with. Dwarf is an ever-present entity in my life.
I will give you the advice that every machinist gives every other machinist. You can quit anytime you want.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this news. We're all going to look forward to this and have some fun, and hope you will continue being a member of our Discord and come back.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that. Turbo says, what color was the carpet before you started?
Well, it was a dark forest green. It's now a shade of green.
I see. What do your cats think about the carpet?
The cats are not allowed in the workshop.
Okay, fair enough. Do they know that it's a place they're not allowed and are continually reminding you that they know?
Yeah, they occasionally find their way in, and I have to excavate them from there.
Yeah.
It's they don't entirely appreciate that.
Cat alert.
Yeah, there we go.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Why do I have to be here? Eric, thanks a lot. You've been a great guest. We're looking forward to Toolroom Takeover, which all the videos drop on Friday. We'll all be watching them with. We'll have watch parties. We'll be making popcorn. We'll be drinking our English breakfast tea and enjoying it. So thanks again for being here and sharing this good work that you're doing, sir.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Take care. Well, we appreciate Eric very much and look forward to this Friday. In the meantime, I see no impediments to being back next Sunday. If you guys have a need for PFG Stones, just head over to PFGstones.com and get yourself something flat. If you have any questions, you know how to message me. If you want to join our Discord, you're welcome to. Go over to pfg.gg/Discord. I know it's crazy. And guess what you'll find at pfg.gg/stones. Correct. And be safe in the shop. Have fun and get flat. Stay flat. We'll see you next week.